The top games you can demo at Gen Con 2023. Thank you for joining us at Tantrum House Studio D. I'm Melissa Dupp.
And I'm Kevin Dupp. We are talking about games that you can demo at Gen Con 2023, but you can't purchase.
Right. So there's a list on Board Game Geek, BGG, that lists whether the games will be available or demo. Now, sometimes there can be a little bit of drift, whether games come in or they don't come in for the con. But these are ones that were listed as demo, so they're upcoming games that aren't quite available for purchase yet.
Now, we also will have other videos that will have games that you can purchase and which ones we like. And we're going to put those in other videos. We'll put a link to those right up there. But are we ready to talk? Oh, one more thing about this top 10 list.
Okay, one more thing.
We sort of combined our list into 10 games because some of them lean a little bit more heavier toward you and some of them lean a little bit towards me. Let's start with number 10.
Number 10. So this game, our number 10, is definitely more of a me game, and it is House of Cats from Aporta Games. Now this is for 1 to 6 players, plays in about 20 minutes, and it is a roll and write.
Yeah, I actually was in favor of you putting this on your list as well, but I agree, this definitely leans towards you.
So basically, you have this house, and you're drafting dice, and you need to put like dice together to create rooms. So I think if you get 3 threes together, you can make a room, and then once you have rooms, they have special powers that you can activate. So this sounds kind of fun with the cat theme. I think there's cats and mice in it, and just trying to place your dice well and then activate those powers. So it intrigued me.
Yeah, and this is a little lighter of a game for Aporta because they've done like the Magnificent and a little heavier games. So this appears to be a little lighter game mechanic-wise, but still looks enjoyable. Number 9. This one is the Art Project, and it's coming from the app, and it is for 1 to 6 players. Now, this one definitely leans a little bit towards me. This is a co-op game that you are all working together to save art projects from the White Hand.
Ooh, the White
Hand. You're trying to complete missions, and you are trying to save artwork.
Now, I'll be honest, Kevin, this caught your eye because of the artist on the front cover, right?
Yeah, my favorite, Vincent Dutray. He is one of the artists in the board game world that really draws me in. The cover really is like, oh, let me check that game out. Although the gameplay does sound interesting to me, this definitely leans towards me. Yep. And I think it's not only because of the artwork, the co-op. I'm okay with co-op games a little bit more than you are. But saving art projects sounds kind of fun.
Number 8.
We're kind of cheating here because we're adding 2 games into this spot, but they're both from the same company. The first one is an expansion to Cascadia called Landmarks. Now, Cascadia won one of the Spear Awards last year, so super popular. Landmarks, you won't believe it, adds landmarks to the game. Some scoring cards and some habitat tiles, and also as a bit, you can do it with 5 and 6 players now. So.
Nocturne is the other game that's going to be at the Flat Out booth, and this is for 1 to 4 players, plays in about 45 minutes. It's described as a puzzly spatial building and set collection game of sly mystics in a whimsical moonlit forest.
Okay.
It is illustrated by Beth Sobel, so you know that the artwork is going to be gorgeous, and you play as foxes.
Okay.
So you are casting magic spells and you're trying to collect enchanted items. So there's definitely a set collection aspect to the game. I just think it sounds kind of cool.
Puzzly for you, spatial.
I know. Spatial could go either way for me. Sometimes I'm really good at them and other times I'm like, oh.
Like, is it spatial like polyomino tiles? Because that's really up your aisles, or is it something else? Spatial, we'll see.
Nocturne at Flat Out. Definitely check that one out when you go by their booth.
Number 7. This one is Defenders of the Dictionary from Adam's Apple Games.
This one definitely leans towards me with it being word-based. Now this is for 1 to 4 players, plays in about 20-25 minutes. It is cooperative.
Awesome, I'm in.
And you're working together to navigate the city of Wordopolis.
Wordopolis.
Yes.
I heard it's like a lot of short games that's like has this overarching campaign.
Yes, it has a campaign aspect that I think you can fight the villains in any order, but based on which ones you beat, it may unlock some different things or give you certain powers or benefits different ways. It says that it's a letter and grid-based wordplay. That makes me think of something like Scrabble-esque, but cooperative and trying to defeat villains and basically, I guess, complete tasks that you're doing. Adam's Apple Games has done a lot of awesome games. They published Planet Unknown, which is up for the Spiel, which by the time this airs, will probably be decided.
Well, no. Hopefully it won.
But this is definitely not that complex, not that level of complexity.
And they usually try and take games and just really make them, I don't want to say unique, but like they try to combine mechanics together that you wouldn't normally put together.
Or have a unique actual element, like the Lazy Susan. Yeah. They're the ones that did the sword crafting game as well, where you're actually making a sword as you collect tiles. Yeah. So they do some innovative things with their games. Number 6. So our next one is Spellbook from Space Cowboys. They're under the Asmodee banner. This is for 1 to 4 players, plays in about 45 minutes, and it's designed by Phil Walker Harding.
That's the thing that drew me into this game. Phil Walker Harding designed some great games, like Barren Park. Really like his design, so when I saw the designer's name, I was like, oh, tell me a little bit more.
Well, a little bit more. It is a hand management set collection game. It kind of has, Spellbook, so it has a bit of a mystical feel to it. You have a familiar, which usually those are represented by animals. And you are trying to collect this resource called materia?
Materia. Yeah, I think that's good.
To master spells and to feed your familiar. So there's going to be lots of combinations with the cards to make those spells.
Yeah, I saw there are 2,100 different spell combinations that could be done. So as you're collecting those sets, I think that will make the game feel fresh each time. So sometimes when you're doing a set collecting game, it can be like, oh, I'm just trying to get these sets. But this one sounds like there might be some sort of interesting combination.
Yeah, a lot of variability potentially in this game. So, and then once you get the spells, they actually give you effects or bonuses that carry out during the game. So I think that's where a lot of the variability is going to come from, the different powers, benefits that you have from those spells. So sounds interesting to me.
Spellbook from Space Cowboys. Number 5. This is Virtual Revolution from Studio H, which is distributed by Hachette. It's for 2 to 4 players, takes about 90 minutes to play. This is an area majority influence game, so
definitely Kevin on this one.
Definitely towards me. And it looks like, the game is set in the future, 2047. There's these virtual mega corporations who are sort of vying for control. So you play as one of the members of those corporations, and you're trying to do things, generate income, take over different areas. It sounds like an action-based economy in the game where you're trying to do certain things. The interesting thing in the game that sounded interesting was that some of the actions are not legal.
Oh, so some are risky?
Maybe a little risky. So it said it could flag Interpol or the activists. So I'm not sure if that you might get a big reward, but there could be some risk involved, like you said. So that sounds a little interesting than just a straight area majority. So Virtual Revolution, the artwork does look really cool for this as well, with the sort of futuristic artwork from Studio H. So just check that one out.
Number 4. Number 4 for us is My Island. This is from Cosmos. It's for 2 to 4 players. Plays about 30 minutes and
per game.
Yes. Per episode, maybe?
Why are we saying this?
So this is very similar to My City, which came out a few years
2020.
ago.
It's been 3 years now. Yeah.
So it is a campaign game where in this version you are building up your island, and it was played in chapters, and each chapter had a few episodes in it. This one has a total of 24 games in the campaign, which is the same amount as My City. So yeah, each game is about 30 minutes.
Right.
So,
but you can play a couple games in a sitting, I think. Like maybe one chapter and, then pick it back up another day.
So the rules progress as you go through the chapters. Some things, if it's like My City, there were stickers and things you put on your board that completely altered your game board permanently for the rest of the game. So I'm assuming those sort of things will be in My Island as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. My City definitely had that sort of city feel where you're trying to build, like, by the end, like railroads and things like stuff. Where this one, like My Island, like you're trying to build in like on your island. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to gain tourists, or like
what are the secrets?
Maybe you're just trying to make the biggest island. We'll see.
But yes, we did enjoy My City, so we are looking forward to My Island. And if you go by the Thames and Cosmos booth, you might be able to get a chance to demo it.
Number 3. This is Luthier. That is for 1 to 4 players. Takes about 1 to 2 hours to play. This is from Paverson Games, which they don't have a lot of games out there. They made Distilled, which was very popular at Dice Tower East, where we were just at. They had it in the hot games area, and it was played a lot. And we actually haven't played that one.
Right, yeah. So we don't have any experience with their games.
So the company wasn't the thing that drew me in personally. It was the theme.
So what does Luthier mean?
It is a person who crafts stringed instruments. And I'm definitely a person who enjoys that classical music. And so this is what drew me in. This is like set in the height of like the classical era with like Bach and Mozart and things like that. So the gameplay is a combination of hidden bidding plus worker placement, where you actually are trying to like craft musical instruments. So well, first of all, that sounds fun, crafting musical instruments in a game. The artwork, I believe, is Vincent Dutray.
Oh. Bingo card. How many times does Kevin mention Vincent Dutray in our Gen Con videos across the board? Right. I saw in the description that you're getting patron cards and they add to your personal tableau. And so your tableau will influence some of the things that you can do and benefits, and that's going to change depending on the card you get. So I thought that sounded really interesting.
Yeah, so it hits on for me for theme, artwork, and gameplay. All sounds interesting. So this is why it's near to the top of the list. And Melissa is very kind letting me put it here.
I think it sounds interesting too. Number 2. So our number 2, and this is both of us, is Ticket to Ride Legacy.
Yes.
So Days of Wonder, 2 to 5 players, plays in about maybe an hour, hour and a half.
Legacy though.
So we have some of the pioneers of Legacy on as designers.
Oh.
So not only Alan Moon, who did Ticket to Ride, but we have Rob Davio and Matt Leacock as
so they
all
have done
co-designers.
Some great Legacy games in the past.
So yeah, like their names are synonymous with Legacy games.
Yeah, they know how they work. Like Pandemic Legacy, one of the best experiences of a Legacy game.
So anyway, this is interesting to me because it takes Ticket to Ride,
which we love,
and is a fairly basic kind of welcoming game.
Right. I mean, it's a set collection game, basically route building.
And then adds the legacy aspect to it. So I believe it's basically going to start out with maybe just the East Coast.
Yeah, I saw a picture of the East Coast.
So it is the U.S. map.
Oh, sorry, yes.
And then things will change and expand throughout the game as you play sessions in your campaign. Going to unlock different things. Your game will be different than other people's games based on the decisions that you make, which is like Ticket to Ride, different maps, decisions.
I mean,
how's that all going to work out?
I mean, the cities are cities, right? So I'm like...
It's not like you're going to put Chicago down somewhere else. But who knows sort of things they're going to add into this. It does say that once you are done with the campaign, which is 12 sessions long, you will have a playable game at the end.
Nice.
So one of those unique maps that you can continue to play on, but will potentially be different than anyone else's based on the choices that players have made throughout the game. So we personally do really enjoy legacy games and enjoy Ticket to Ride, so that's why this one was definitely near the top of games to take a look at and demo during Gen Con.
Number 1. Now number 1 is Kutna Hora, the City of Silver from CGE. This is for 2 to 4 players. Takes about 1 to 2 hours to play. I'll just be honest, it's probably going to be closer to 2 hours. Based on what I read.
So this is the Euro game on our list. We both really enjoy the games that CGE puts out. So part of it's just based on publisher. We know that they put out good quality games. This one has a bit of an economic aspect to it, so that might lean a little bit more into Kevin's wheelhouse, but there's a supply and demand aspect.
Yeah, it said something about a living supply and demand.
Real life supply.
Oh, real life, sorry. So it's like maybe just feel it.
So the actions you take have effects on the economy in the game. It says that basically, players have asymmetrical actions. When I saw that,
I think you're in charge
cards.
of you're in charge of a guild, and that guild has asymmetrical abilities. So
I do like games that are asymmetrical because I like to try out the different factions or different strategies. That's something I really enjoy in games is trying. And
usually they
have
have special powers.
Yes. Haven't played this one. Don't know a ton about it, but I am looking forward to learning more about it at Gen Con. I believe it's going to be an Essen release. Does that sound
It definitely is going to be an
correct?
Essen release, yes. I did know that.
So, yeah. CGE, it's a Euro game. It has asymmetrical powers. That's all I need to know, really.
Cool.
To know that I'm at least interested in it.
Let's do some honorable mentions. So we have 3 honorable mentions. The first one is Call of Duty, the board game. That's from Arcane Wonders that you can demo there. It is a 1v1. Melissa and I aren't really head-to-head board game players.
Yeah, it's not our style of game.
But it's going to be really, really popular. I believe Arcane Wonders is going to have their own Call of Duty room at Gen Con that you can be able to go and check out and demo. It is sort of a hidden programming game, competitive. And there's lots of different scenarios in the game that ties right into the Call of Duty video game if you played that.
And I believe it should be on crowdfunding during the convention. So if you demo it and really enjoy it, you have an opportunity to pledge for it on crowdfunding.
Second one is Star Wars Unlimited.
So this is I believe it's a collectible card game.
CCG, collectible card game.
Or TCG, I don't know. One of those.
It's a card game which you can collect.
And it's Fantasy Flight games and features Star Wars characters. I believe it's movie, TV, books, comics, all the whole world is...
Universe. You can't say world in Star Wars.
Sorry, true. Universe. The whole universe is available, potentially. Again, we're not really collectible card game people.
Yeah, but Star Wars is going to...
But the theme, I think, is going to be very popular.
Number 3 is Lorcana, which is... Thank you. Disney Lorcana, which is... It's on the list here because you can demo it at Gen Con, but you can also purchase it.
So it doesn't really belong on the list, but...
People are going to ask, why did you put Lorcana on the list?
It's popular enough and has enough buzz that we wanted to let people know that they could demo it during the convention.
Yeah. So that's our list of, well, not our honorable mentions, but our top 10. We want to hear from you. Have you looked at the Gen Con list? Do you like any of them that are on there? Let us know in the comments, or maybe there's a couple that we mentioned.
Yeah. What did we miss? What would be on your list? And do you agree with the ones on ours?
And don't forget, check out our other Gen Con videos.